All right, welcome back. We are going to pick up right where we left off on the next page in your packet. It is a page from Kuta software that says angles in a triangle. Now, hopefully you remember that the three angles of a triangle always add to give you 180 degrees. So, if one of your angles is 65 and one is 57, you could add those up. So 65 plus 57 is 122. And then if you do 180 minus 122, you will have what's left over to give you the remainder. So we're going to borrow from the 8. So this is a 10. I should say 7. So 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 2 is 5. So 58. And when you get your answer, you want to look and make sure that, yeah, that looks right. Because we know 3 60s is 180. We're going to do random ones on this page. So let's go ahead and jump down to the next one below, number 3. This is an obtuse angle. That means it's bigger than 90 degrees, bigger than a right angle. So if we add up 130 and 20, we're going to get 150. So this leftover angle would be 180 minus 150, which is 30. So this is a 30-degree angle. It looks nice and small. Pictures aren't always perfect, but in this case, all is well. So 5 is a little bit different. This angle is a linear pair with 137. Now, from yesterday, hopefully you remember that a linear pair adds to give you 180 degrees. They are supplementary. So in order to find this angle, we would need to do 180 degrees minus 137. Again, really try not to use a calculator here. So 10 minus 7 is 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. And 43 is the answer to that part of it. So we still need to figure out this answer. This is kind of like a 3-step process. So if this is 43 and this is 102, now we can figure out this one. So 102 plus 43 is 145. And then you would need to do 180 minus 145. Borrowing from the 8, I'm just going to rewrite that as a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 4 is 3. So this angle right here is 35. And then the grand finale for this problem are these two angles make a linear pair. So 180 minus 35. Borrow from the 8, this becomes a 10. 7 minus 3 is 4, would be 45. So that's the answer to the question mark. And if you go one more right below, if we find this angle, that would be the same as this angle, because those are vertical angles, and vertical angles are congruent. So we're going to add 30 and 20. So 30 plus 20 is 50. So 180 minus 50 is 130. So this angle would be 130 degrees, which means this angle would be 130 degrees. Now you don't need to necessarily know this, but the 50 left over would be these two angles. But 130 is your answer to that question. Flip it on over. Whoops. Alright, so in number 9, we have these two angles. So in order to find the third one, 40 plus 20 is 60. And 180 minus 60 is 120. Which means this. is 120 because those are vertical angles. Okay, the three angles of a triangle add to give you 180. 120 plus 39 is where we're at next. That's 159. So 180 minus 159. I'm thinking of 180 minus 160 is 20, so it would be 21. If you still need to, you can totally borrow. 10 minus 9 is 1, 7 minus 5 is 2. So regardless, 21 is your answer. Moving down to 11. We need to figure out this angle first because we have the 2, so that's the one that we can figure out. The three angles of a triangle add to give you 180. So 84 plus 36, 6 and 4 is 10. Bring up the 1, 120. So this would be 180 minus the 120 that the other two add up to. So that is 60 degrees. Now, this marking means that they are complementary. That means those two angles add up to give you 90 degrees. So if this is 60, this would have to be 90 minus 60, which is 30. So now we can finally figure out our grand finale angle over here. We have 30 and 86, so we need to add those two up. And then subtract that from 180, because the three angles of a triangle will always add to give you 180. So 10 minus 6 is 4, 7 minus 1 is 6, 64. Sounds about right. This is pretty close to 90, so that means these two are going to add to be pretty close to 90. So there's your answer. Okay, I'm going to skip this one and go on to the next page. We're going to add in letters. So in this scenario, you would need to add all three of these up. The question says solve for x, so not the angle, but to solve for x. So we're going to add them all up. X plus 74, that's this one, plus 55, that's this one, plus 54, that's this one. Those would all add to give you 180. So let's go ahead and add 74, 55, and 54. So 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 4 more is 13. I'm going to add the 5 and the 5 first because that's 10. 7 and 1 is 8, so that's 183. So we have x plus 183 equaling 180. Remember, if you have a triangle and all the sides are 60, that is 180. So if you're looking at this, we've got a 54, a 55, and a 74. It does make sense that we're over 180. But the beauty of this is, I'll explain while I do this, is that a negative answer works. So we want to get the x alone. You're going to subtract the 183 from both sides so that you can isolate the x and solve for it. You're undoing this plus. So to undo the plus is minus. So our final answer is x. These cancel, which is why we did this, is negative 3. If you plug negative 3 in right here, this whole thing will work. $19. Now, first of all, we're going to figure out what this angle is numerically, and then we know that together these are a linear pair, so together they're 180. So we would need to add 64 and 27 first. 7 and 4 is 11, so we have 91. So 180 minus 91. 180 minus 90 is 90. So if you're subtracting 91, you would have 89. You can also go ahead and borrow 10 minus 1 is 9, and then you would do 17 minus 9, which is 8. Okay, so this is 89. So now we know that these two together, 89 plus the whole 97 plus x, have to equal 180 degrees because they're a linear pair. So 89 plus 97 is 9 and 7 is 16. 8 plus 1 is 9, so 9 plus 9 is 18. So we have 186 plus x equaling 180. So you're going to isolate this x, get it totally alone, which means we need to undo this positive 186. So we're going to subtract that from both sides to keep the balance. So these cancel. X equals negative 6. Isn't this fun? You might just want to take a break and smile really quickly. And 21. The three angles all add up to 180. So x plus 59 plus x plus 51 plus the 84. That's there. That's there. That's there. Would all add to give you 180. So we're going to put our like terms together. X plus x is 2x. That's very important. X plus x is 2x. X times x is x squared. That's not what we're doing. X plus x is 2x. And then we're going to put the numbers together. So 59 plus 51 plus 84. So 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 4 is 14, 5 and 5 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 1 is 19. So we have 2x plus 194 equals 180. And then you would need to isolate this. I kind of think of it as this means 2 times x, and 2 is really tight with x. It's like x's best bud. So x wants to be alone, but in time. So first, we're going to get rid of this. It's not as close to x. To undo addition, you subtract, and you keep the sides balanced. So 2x is negative. If you don't know how to do this, you need to put the negative, the bigger number above, and the 180 here. And we're going to do this like subtraction. And our answer is going to be a negative because the bigger number is negative. So 4 minus 0 is 4. 9 minus 8 is 1. So it's negative 14. And then to get the x completely alone, you would divide by 2. So the answer is x equals negative 7. 2 divided by 2 is 1, which is why we chose to do that. The question says find the measure of angle A. So angle A is this. See the A? So you need to actually solve that. Negative 7 plus 51. So we're going to write it the same way. So 51 minus 7, put the bigger number first. Borrow from the 5, so this is actually an 11. 11 minus 7 is 4, and then bring the 4 down. So 44 degrees is the answer for that. And check it. Is 44 plus 7 51? Yes. So that's a great thing. Okay, we're going to go to the next page. Just remember, vertical angles are the same. So this is the same as this. And this would add to give you 180. So hopefully you notice that that's 50. Alrighty. Just a hint. So this is just going to add in exterior angles, and it's just the linear pattern still. There's nothing really new here. These two angles add to give you 180. So if this is 120, 60 would be what's left there. And then to find what's inside, you would add up your 50 and your 60. That's 110. And the three of them together add to give you 180. So 180 minus 110 is 70. Looking at 3, we're going to find this one first. 70 and 50 is 120. So 180 minus 120 is 60. So if this is 60, this whole thing is 180. Well, we already know that it's 120 because 120 plus 60 is 180. So the question mark answer is 120. In 5, these two add to give you 180. 180 minus 140 is 40. So this angle is 40. The angle in question is right here. We would need to add 45 plus 40, getting 85. And then the three angles add up to 180. So 180 minus 85 is 95. And again, go ahead and start borrowing. This is a 7, that's a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 17 minus 8 is 9. So 95 is your answer. It kind of looks like a 95. It looks a little bit bigger than 90. Remember, you can take the corner of a piece of paper and put it in the corner and see if that measures. All right, we're going to skip down to the x's. So it says solve for x. This angle right here is 180 minus 8 plus 6x. So that is 180 minus 8 minus 6x. You need to subtract both things. So that's 172 minus 6x. That's what's right here. So when you go to add up the 3, making them equal to 180, you have 4x plus 2 plus 30 plus 172 minus 6x equaling 180. The three angles of the triangle add to give you 180. You're going to put your like terms together. X's go with X's. That's a minus. If you are a negative loser, if you lose negatives every time you have a minus, slash and dash, make it a plus and change the sign of the thing behind it. So together, that is a negative 2x. Now we've got all these numbers. 2 plus 30 is 32 plus 172. So it's 100 and, well, it's more than that. 2 plus 2 is 4. 7 plus 3 is 10. So it's 204. So negative 2x plus 204 is 180. The goal now is to isolate the x. The first thing you're going to get rid of is the number that's alone. You're going to undo addition by subtraction. These cancel. Now, you may want to write the 204, the 180. Your answer is going to be negative because the bigger number is negative. 4 minus 0 is 4. Borrow from the 2. 10 minus 8 is 2. So you have negative 24. So I'm going to just rewrite the whole problem. Negative 2x. You can put minus 24. I'm going to put plus negative 24. It means the exact same thing, except that's not right. Negative 2x plus nothing equals negative 24. And then divide by negative 2. So your answer is 12. A negative divided by a negative is positive. And so 12 it is. Alright, let's do one more together. About 14. Actually, oops. Oh my. Okay. How about 17? So, in 17, the grand finale, this angle is 180 minus 13x minus 3. It's minus the whole entire thing. So what that really is 180 minus 13x, and then you're minusing a negative, so that's a plus 3. So that's really 183 minus 13x. So when we add all three of our angles, you have 3x plus 2 plus 55 plus 183 minus 13x equals 180. Okay, like terms. 3x and negative 13x is a negative 10x. 2 plus 55 is 57, so 183 plus 57 is 240. You want to isolate the negative 10x, you want to isolate the x. So first you're going to get rid of the 240. It is a positive 240, so you are going to subtract. So if that is hard, you're going to write 240 and 180. The 240 is negative. Your answer is negative. 0 minus 0 is 0. Borrow a 1 from the 2. This becomes 14. 14 minus 8 is 6. And then the first thing is 0. So it's negative 10x is negative 60. What a great problem to end on. It's so nice and whole. When you divide both sides by negative 10, you get x is 6. So excited, but we are not done. The question says find the measure of angle FAB. FAB. Fabulous. That is this. 13x minus 3. So you need to plug 6 in for x and solve. Two numbers next to each other means multiply. So 13 times 6. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So you have 78 minus 3, which is 75. It's like my favorite number. I was born on July 5th, that's why. So 75 is your answer. What a great day! Hopefully this makes perfect sense and you are feeling like you can do this without a problem. Have a wonderful evening.